Hey boys and girls, this is Nero. There are many ways to do denting effect in Houdini. This time I'm gonna use Vellum to do so. We can use Vellum to simulate such as clothes, grain, soft body, and so on. But this time I'm gonna use it to simulate denting. By the way, FYI, if you ever wonder what's Vellum, Vellum is PBD simulation. And what's PBD? PBD stands for point-based dynamic. So let's dive right in. So let's put our pig head and disable the shader. And after that, we're gonna do remesh. So the whole model becomes triangles. And then lower the target size. I believe that the Vellum solver is more like triangles than quadrangles. That's why I did a remesh. After the remesh, let's put in the clip. I want to clip out some part of the model and put a group here, disable, and group type should be edges. I want this one to be $OS, and the group should use unshared edges so we can actually get the edge of the model. And then we want to name it, let's call this one edge. But this is a edge group, right? So we can do group promote to the edge group of the from the edges to the points. And this way we only got the group point. You can see before we have edge group, but this time we have point group. We won't get this because we're gonna put in our Vellum cloth configuration, and in the pin to animation tab we can choose the edge group we just made, so that way these all points, they will be pinned. After that, I would like to put a Vellum solver here. Let's connect it. And this one should be start from 237. Let's see, 30 out. Good. As I said, the edges are pinned. First, what we're gonna do is crank up the sub-stubs. And you can already see some difference just by cranking off the sub-stubs. The sub-stubs is actually making the simulation more accurate and more stiffer. And there is another parameter you can change, which is the constraint iterations, which can also make the simulation more stiffer. This one is more stiffer, but for time's sake, I'm gonna put the constraint iterations back for now. I'm gonna fetch in the animation I made. I just made some animation, 3 cracks waving their hammers, and let's put a transform here. I think I should put it here. And then move the pig head somewhere around here. Maybe up a little bit. Let me see. So can you hit it? Yeah, this one hit it. Yeah, this one hits it. And that one hits it. The animation is okay. Collapse. And connect it to the third input, which is the collision geometry. Next, we're going to change the properties of our constraints. First, go to stretch and put the damping ratio at 1, and bend the damping ratio at 1 too. And what we're going to use actually here is enable plasticity, and bend enable plasticity too. Plasticity is always trying to keep the cloth at their deformed state. And then let's put the bend stiffness higher so the clothes won't bend so easily. Next is plasticity threshold. The threshold means once the constraint bended more than this threshold, stay deformed. Do not try to come back to where you were. So you always want lower the threshold for denting. After that is the rate, and let me put 100 for now. There's no physically correct number for this one. And the rate stands for how fast the constraint adapts to its new banded state. Alright? And the last one is hardening. Hardening is mostly like a multiplier of the new stiffness where the form occurred, which means 0.1 multiply 100, which gives us 10. Next part is the plasticity under the stretch. Still, we want to keep the threshold really low. Don't have to be this number. You gotta try it yourself. This is just for this case. Next one is the rate. We want the spread speed to be really fast. And then the hardening, I want you to be really stiff. After that, I'm gonna say disable gravity and damp out all the velocities from the hammer. The velocity damping is kind of like a spread. When the hammers or the collisions collide with the cloth, the energy will spread. So by damping the velocity out, there will be no energy spread out. Let's see the result. This is pretty interesting, huh? After that, we can put a wrangle here and use that to compare the distance from the new one to the old one. Alright, so we're gonna put a vector here. We can call this one pass and use a pointing function and grab from the input plug 1 to get the position of every point number. We're gonna make another vector, call this one dist 3D, which from the current position to multiply the pass, and then we're gonna give us a attribute called dist. This is 2D actually. By using the length function of the dist 3D, we're gonna get the distance. The biggest is 0.88 and call this one set dist. I like to put the light red, and after that put a color swap. This is on point. From attribute we want to use the dist. And remember this is 0.88. Now we can change the color. Maybe put this one and leave that one white and give it some nice colors. Oh, my bad. I want to change this one, something like that. And lower the threshold of the color. Yeah, this is pure black. I want to give it some color, maybe something like that. Alright, let's see the cracks. Let's head back to the camera. This is the result. I guess there is a little failure. This one never touches it. So maybe I can put the peak head a little bit back, somewhere like that. Give me the result again. Let me see the result. Oh, still not touching. Still no touching. Yeah, I guess there is a touching. Yeah, I just put it to black too much. Alright, this is the result. Pretty cool, right? Like I said, there's more than one way of doing things in Houdini. This time I use Vellum to do so. Next time I might want to use soft constraints of RBD simulation maybe. Anyway, The whole theory behind the Vellum denting is try to prevent the constraints come back to where they were. Of course, by manipulating the plasticity. Alright, that's for today. This is Nero, and see you next time.